Hello and welcome to Blimey TV. I'm sitting here after Carlisle. They've just lost 1-0 away from home at Harrogate Town after what was probably the worst 90 minutes of football Carlisle have performed this season. But look, it's to a certain extent it's understandable because we haven't played in so long through no fault of our own. But you know, you would expect such a big team as ourselves, or such a good team this year, to be doing better than that. And I think wasn't just the team that wasn't just the players themselves that were quite disappointing. It was also some of the decisions made by Chris Beech and his coaching team, and that was, Brennan Dickinson starting. He's looked promising in games coming in, but that really wasn't a really good game for him. I think having all of these games out, combined with the injury he was already suffering with, really did him a lot of damage. And just makes you think, he obviously wasn't ready. You can see that from the game there. He wasn't good, wasn't ready. Why have you left, two young promising players such as Josh Dixon and Taylor Charters out the squad if you're going to play him, who clearly isn't as fit as he needs to be? One positive to take from today: George Tanner's back. My favourite player. He's always good when he's playing. He didn't look back to his full self, but it's to be expected, and I don't think anyone did. Another player who had a particularly bad game though was the captain, Nick Anderton. And I just think he's the captain. He's not leading by example here, is he? It's not the first time he's been like this. And I don't want to say this because I really like Nick Anderton, and I think when he's playing well, he plays really well. But I don't look at him and think he is the leader of the team. I don't look at him and think, he's the most experienced or he's the most loud on the pitch. He gave away the penalty. It was a stupid decision to dive in. It wasn't a particularly dangerous chance for Harrogate either. It was just a cross that he needed to stop, and instead he just two-footed him, and it made no sense. It was like Callum Guy's challenge that cost us the penalty against Forest Green, and it's 2 games in a row now where it's our own fault for losing, and it's disappointing because they're clearly good players, and I think our momentum has been absolutely destroyed by obviously the Harrogate game being called off twice in a row, snow. Even the national grid didn't want us to play at one point with the power going out. COVID on top of that, and it's just we've been out for so long that amazing momentum that was keeping us top of the league is gone. And although we've got loads of games in hand, and I think we only need to win like 3 of them, 3 out of the 6 for us to go straight top again. It doesn't look like we're going to win those games, and we've got Salford coming up next, who, although I don't know whether they won or lost today. I think they were in trouble at one point in the game, but despite that, I don't fancy our chance against Salford next week, and we've got to go there, and I really hope Chris Beech doesn't let the players off with this, because you can argue as much as you want that we've been out for ages, it's a good excuse coming back, we obviously aren't going to be at our best, but that's going to be most of the season this season. We can't use that as an excuse, and at the end of the day, some of the other clubs, not quite to our extent, have been out for long periods of the season as well. And someone else I need to address as well is, I was listening to it on iFollow, and I couldn't turn the away commentary off. Well, by that I mean I couldn't switch to the home commentary for some reason, and my God, imagine being a Harrogate fan and I'm not listening to them two for every week. Imagine being a Harrogate fan and not being able to watch the video and just being listening to the audio. You'd think they were winning every week, because at one point they just started talking about a bus going past, and you're thinking, there's just been a really good chance for Carlisle, and you're talking about a bus that's gone past the stadium. It made no sense, and they didn't even know their own players' names at times. It was just bizarre, because every time Harrogate had the slightest chance, or one of their players blatantly dived, their commentary team was all over like, that's a blatant foul, that's an amazing chance for Harrogate there, and then when Carlisle are on the attack or something, or a Carlisle foul gets given, they're like, look at that bus over there, there's not pay any attention to the a blatant foul by the Harrogate man. Let's talk about this bus over here, or let's talk about some the Six Nations at one point. Why? Why are they doing that? You'd be massively missing out on a big portion of the game if you're a Harrogate fan and just having to listen to that. It maybe isn't as bad that week. It obviously isn't bad week in week out. But I know our commentary team are biased. Every local commentary team is going to be biased to a certain extent, but that was just unreal. Their pitch was about 50% grass. The other half was just mud patches. It's really not a good pitch, Harrogate. And from what they were saying, it was a new pitch as well. So I don't know where they bought that from. Maybe another Sunday League team where where they've come from. But I've seen a lot of people say, including myself, that Harrogate aren't a very big club, and that you can say as much as you want, and you can look at the stadium, you can look at the ground, and it's easy to make that conclusion. But they're in this league for a reason, and they've beaten us for a reason. You can call them small all you want, but they have just beat us today. And they've made their way through the leagues. Unlike Salford, they haven't just bought their way up. They've kind of progressed naturally, and I think that's the proper way to do it. And I don't think there's any point in saying, "Oh, they're a small club, go back to the National League," anything like that, because I've seen that on Twitter from myself in the past as well, and it doesn't make sense, does it? Because they're in this league for a reason, and how else do you want teams to make it up through the leagues? But it is what it is, because I hope Chris Beach doesn't let them off with it. I hope he doesn't use excuses, and I don't think he will, to be honest with you, because I trust in that. I trust in Chris Beach. But yeah, it's disappointing today, but Salford next week, we've had a good result against them in the past. I was at that game, actually. It was one of the ones fans were allowed in. It's... God, how long ago was that? It feels like ages ago, but it really wasn't. It's just just trust that the best team that we've ever had, that we've had in a long time, is going to get ruined by the weather, literally a national pandemic, and also electricity. Classic Carlisle. But no, we will get back to normal, and we will start winning again. Sure, I am fairly positive, and I don't think Carlisle fans should be too worried about us completely dropping off, because we are still in a promising position. We could have made it better today, but we are still one of the best teams in the league on our day, and I think we will still finish up there. And we're still the bookies' favourites to finish in the automatic promotion places, so I don't see why we can't, and I don't see why we won't. So yeah, it's disappointing today. Obviously wasn't good enough from a number of players, but what can you say? It's first game back from such a long break, and you just hope we're playing again on Saturday. Hopefully that's been a real kick up the arse for the players that were on the pitch today. So yeah, in a bit.